guys, it's Glenn from Glenn'sCarCollection.com, and today we're driving one of my favorite cars, the 2017 Acura NSX. And if you follow the channel, the rooster is back. He's right over that fence. I've been filming here for years. I haven't been here in a month or two. There's a rooster and he's in my videos. So if you hear a rooster, I don't know what to do. But anyway, one of my favorite cars, 2017 Acura NSX, and that's how Tim and I met. Tim's the general manager there at DCH Acura. He contacted me off my YouTube channel. He said, hey, you're local. I'm getting the pressed car, which was serial number, VIN number 0000 in blue, and I think he had a red one too. And he said, invite your friends, 10 of you, 12 of you, and we'll go out and take drives and you can film a video. So that's how we met. So I drove a 2019 up in New York State with Steve Hammis from Test Drive Now. That was pretty cool. We shared a car. And I haven't driven the new NSX since, so I'm really excited, especially since I've had an NSX for, I don't know, 11 years. I had, right now I have a 2005 NSX, Long Beach Blue. You've seen it on the channel. I've had that for 6 years. Prior to that, I had a black on tan 1995 Targa. Actually, they're both Targas. So I'm really excited on the new car. I came very close to buying one of these before I bought my R8. So in this video, we'll go over the interior and exterior and we'll take it out for a very spirited test drive. So be sure to watch to the end. All right, so it's a 3.5 liter turbocharged V6. You can see the engine back here, just like the R8. And there's 3 electric motors. And we'll demonstrate the electric motors, how it fills in the torque. Here you have the air intake. Now, these are aftermarket wheels. I don't know the brand. I'm trying to figure out the brand. Maybe somebody can say in the comments. Oh, okay. So they're Vossen forged wheels. Wow. So I heard these were $2,000 a wheel. This car also has suspension. And this rear wheel is actually a 325/30/21. Can you believe that? Also got a Science of Speed exhaust. You got center exhaust tips. I love that diffuser. Special thanks to Tim at DCH Montclair Acura and his team for allowing me to drive this car. So let's look at the trunk. In the front of the car, I like this carbon fiber spoiler too. A lot of carbon fiber, optional. You got the carbon fiber roof here. The front is basically just fluids and crash structure, just like my NSXs are. So they kind of stayed with that theme there. Now, as you approach the car with the key in your pocket, the keys are in my pocket, the door actually opens for you, which is a pretty cool feature. Now, if we want to access the trunk, the button we press is right here next to the gas button. And the good thing about this car, it's a hybrid, that you could, you won't need as much gas as I need in my R8. And that should open the trunk. I haven't opened one of these in a while, so forgive me. All right, so we got the engine and we got a decent sized trunk. It does go underneath here. Could you fit golf clubs? I think they say you can. I don't know about 2, but probably 1 set. Can you fit a hockey bag? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now the R8 has a front trunk and it's deeper than this. I would say it's bigger, but not as wide as this. Serial number here. So all NSXs are numbered, so that's pretty cool. This is the first year car, 2017. They made over 2,000 the first year, so this is 00619. I actually have a friend in our NSX club who had the, he had a black 02 to 05, I forget the exact year. He traded it straight up for one of these. All right, so the handles come out, which is pretty cool. We like these wheels here. It's also got a Science of Speed exhaust, if I didn't mention that. So let's go to the interior. We'll start it up. On a cold start, believe it or not, it is very, very loud. You could pop this in. This pops in and out where you put the cup holders, which is pretty cool. I just bought my wife an RDX from this dealership, and it's very similar here as far as the dynamic mode and the reverse, neutral, drive. You press it again to go in manual mode. I think her parking brake may be in a different spot, but it's actually very usable. I know how to use it since we have the RDX. Heated seats are kind of in an odd spot here. They're very little. I guess if you have the car, you'll know that. Climate control, we'll start it up and then you can see everything here. Steering wheel, normal Acura steering wheel. Nice paddle shifters. They feel good to your hand and they're large enough. All right, so it's loud, this car, and then it gets quiet. And then it goes into electric mode. If you're gonna let it run like I had it warming up before I took it here. So now it's in electric mode. It's still running the air conditioning. There is a slider button here for volume and stuff like that. I'm not that crazy. about slider buttons, but I'm sure you would get used to it just because you got to take off your eyes off the road a little longer. It looks like it's got built-in radar here. Maybe that's what we heard chirping before. Now you have your gas, and then you also have battery. Remember, it can run on battery mode 2 for a certain amount of miles under, I believe, 25 miles an hour. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And obviously, we're going to use the 3 electric motors. I think there's 2 in the front and 1 in the back, and that'll also help us for torque fill. We'll see that when we do some spirited driving. Now, if we want to turn in modes here, we can go in a quiet mode. So when I leave at 5 in the morning to go for Sunday morning drives, we can run it in quiet mode. Then we could do Sport, which I drove to get here. Sport Plus, which makes this loud. And we should really drive in Sport Plus. That's about it. So that'll change up the steering, the throttle response, the sound. There is some fake noise in here, but pretty much all cars have fake noise now. We can drive in auto, which is just the D button, press it again in manual, and now we have to shift. So we'll shift. Why not? I want to do as much as I can with the car. So if I have to have a dual clutch or torque converter automatic, I want to shift it. So now that hybrid turbocharged 3.5 liter 6 produces 573 horsepower, 470 foot-pounds of torque. Now these windows are pretty tinted, so hopefully you could see it's probably about a 5% tint. All right, let's go. But between the all-wheel drive, now these cars, standard from the factory, even had an option for all-season tires because Acura wanted you to use this as an everyday car, and you certainly could. My R8 is comfortable, but probably not an everyday car with that V10 and gated shifter. You know, that would probably get old fast in traffic. But this is smooth, it's comfortable. You can drive in quiet mode if it gets too loud for you. You could drive in auto mode if you don't want to shift. Now this has a Science of Speed exhaust, so this is probably the best sounding NSX I've ever driven, new NSX for sure. And they're quiet from the factory, and so is my 05. For both of my NSXs, I put a Pride exhaust because it was just too quiet. Here you got a reliable luxury car. So far, even with all the electronics and the hybrid system, and it's seemed to be a reliable car. The Acura people I've spoken to thinks these cars will be very reliable even when they have 200,000 miles. So that's one way to look at it. You're going to pay 6 figures to get one, but if you keep it a long time, the cost of ownership will be a lot less than, say, in a Ferrari. And because of the hybrid motors and because of the all-wheel drive, this car can get to 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds. And it's pretty smooth doing it. With the sound, you probably don't even realize how fast it really is. It definitely feels in the 3s to me. It doesn't feel maybe 2.9 to me, but we didn't really get a good spot to test it, and it is a cooler fall day today. Beautiful day. But I'm very comfortable. I could see no problem in here. I think the rear window's tinted, so I can't see too good out of that rear view mirror. You're going to get good mileage on this car. Now this has suspension too, because this is incredibly flat. I probably would forego the tinted windows, but everything else I like in this car. Everything else in this car I think is pretty much perfect. The sound, the stance, the handling. A lot of sun glare today, I'm sorry. It's kind of at 1 o'clock, so. Very flat around corners. This car attracts a ton of attention. Maybe it's black with tinted windows, it's all murdered out, but the amount of attention this car gets, my R8 doesn't get, and it's red, gets no attention compared to this car. All right, so let's go through those turns again. Now, handling is what this car is all about. Sounds good with that Science of Speed exhaust. The dual clutch is pretty much perfect on this car. It really is. Now those shifts, there's no missing torque there. It's just the electric motor fills it in. So like most cars where it's kind of like boom, 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 this car, it's like you got 100% of the torque all the time. You hit that upshift paddle, and it's right in the next gear. And that's why I think one of the reasons it's so fast is you're not losing any ground when you're shifting gears. And the handling is pretty amazing. Now with the windows down, I know I heard it there, even with the windows up. I don't know if you heard it, a little bit of the turbo whoosh there, a little blow off, which sounds pretty cool. For example, in my daily driver, totally different kind of car, the M340, I only hear that turbo blow off if I have the windows down. Here I heard it with the windows up, which is pretty cool. This exhaust sounds awesome. I would definitely put an exhaust on my car if I owned one. And I will own one of these cars one day. I do like it that much. So if you want to be a superstar, this is probably a good car to buy. And I know where you could buy it. So I came really close to buying an NSX. I think it probably came down to a color. When I bought my R8 about a year ago, it was either the R8, V10 manual, which is 1 in a million to find, or an NSX. Since I've owned an NSX, I thought it would be really cool, even though those cars are nothing alike, but they're both great in their own way. And I guess I just couldn't find the color. If I could find blue or orange, my friend bought an orange one, and it's gorgeous. If I could find blue or orange or some kind of crazy color, probably would have got the NSX. But I will, mark my words, write this down, I will own an NSX at some point. I just think it's an amazing car. Now, values were cheap for a while. Then they canceled the NSX, and they went up 20, 30 grand. But I think it's still a good buy, because I think you got to look at it the way that it's not going to cost you that much to maintain it. It's going to be a reliable car. They don't make it anymore, so the resale value, I think, will stay the same or even keep going higher slowly, just because you can't get another one of these cars. And I think with the performance, gas mileage, gas is only going to get more expensive. Your older Ferraris and Lamborghinis are going to be more expensive to repair. And I think this will have the probably cheapest running costs over a period of time. It'll cost you money to get in it, but those cars are going to cost you money to get in it too. Now this has suspension and it's still very smooth, except for hitting that one manhole cover. It really did a good job. And you can just get this serviced at your Acura dealer, and Acura is everywhere. So another plus for owning this car. Well, somebody should buy this car before I do. I think whoever had this car previously did a great job with it. Between the look on the wheels, the exhaust, and the suspension, they made a phenomenal car. All right, guys, that is the end of our video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And always let me know in the comments what car you want me to review next. Once I get enough people asking for that car, I'll search it out and make it happen. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.